to Reportage. This is Danish bin Nabi. As September 7th marks the first anniversary of Bharat Jodo Yatra, I am joined by Congress spokesperson Pooja Tripathi. Bharat Jodo Yatra is considered to be the game changer for Congress in general and particularly for Rahul Gandhi. How the Yatra has impacted the party and Rahul Gandhi shall be the two main questions that I shall raise with Pooja. Let's listen into her. Pooja, explain to the viewers, today marks the first anniversary of Bharat Jodo Yatra. How has it impacted the Congress party, then the country, and finally Rahul Gandhi?
Okay. Thank you, Danish. And today I want to congratulate everyone on the first anniversary of Bharat Jodo Yatra. And I'll rephrase your question. Tell you how it has impacted the country first, because it was Bharat Jodo Yatra and it was not Congress Jodo Yatra. How it has impacted our leader Rahul Gandhi and how it has impacted party will come later. So how it has impacted country. When we started Bharat Jodo Yatra on this day last year, we all had our doubts. I personally had my doubts. How can one individual walk from Kanyakumari to Kashmir? On foot. Whatever I know of history, whatever I've read of history, I have never seen someone carrying this length and breadth of country on foot. So we had our doubts. We thought, how will we receive it? And the moment we started from Kanyakumari, as Rahulji puts it, he had his knee pain and he had his doubts and the energy of people. I'll tell you, I have been to Bharat Jodo Yatra around 4 or 5 times. I've been off and on and off. The energy, the enthusiasm of the common people, it's not the Congress cadre I'm talking about, of the common people, to go and meet him, to talk to him, to talk to about the rising prices, the difficulties they are facing, the farmers, and the various corner meetings we had. He had met with farmers, he met with students, he met with Anganwadi workers, Asha workers, sports persons. I think, numerous corner meetings, and everyone raised their concerns. And nobody, never, from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, 4,000 kilometers, we never saw a speck of negative energy. Somebody did say in Rajasthan, Jai Shri Ram from BJP headquarters office, which he replied to Jai Siya Ram. And when he said that he planned to open... Yeah?
And with a flying kiss. He responded them with a flying kiss.
The flying kiss, yeah. The flying kiss has been very controversial of late. And when he said he wants to open up a Mohabbat ki dukaan, we personally saw it. We personally felt it. I was in Kashmir. I was in charge of media, in charge of Kashmir, and I was walking down and I just stopped by a talk to locals, and everyone was like, "हम यहाँ देखने आए हैं, कैसे चल रहा है ये, कैसे कर रहा है, हम गले लगाना चाहते हैं." I think the enthusiasm. I still remember this lady in Maharashtra. She was this 90 plus aged lady, and she came with 2 cucumbers in her hand. And she said that she has grown up this cucumber on the land patta that was given to her by Indira Gandhi. And she has brought these cucumbers as a gift for Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi hugged her, and he said he actually had those cucumber during lunch. I think that, that stays with me. Some of the moments stay with you. That stayed with me. A lady 90 plus walking all across the city, coming to meet Rahul Gandhi, telling her that his grandmother gave her the land patta and she brought 2 cucumbers. He took it with all the love and respect. I think that shows the divide that we started on. We wanted to bridge the divide between India and Bharat. And that was the reason we actually achieved it. I think the whole message of Bharat Jodo Yatra was communal harmony, spreading the message of love, compassion, and it actually believed it. When it comes to party, I'll say, post Bharat Jodo Yatra, the first major elections that we faced was Karnataka election. And you see how majorly we won it, how brutally we won it. And it's the 5 guarantees that you see in Karnataka, the Congress that promised the 5 guarantees were the guarantees, that came to Rahul Gandhi during discussions and deliberations while he was walking. Women coming and talking about price rise, women coming talking about the gender gap in labor force, the gig workers, everyone, the electricity, everyone coming and talking about this. And that converted into our guarantees. People trusted us. People thought that, this Jumla and this this mirage of new India, this saying that आपको आशीर्वाद नहीं मिलेगा अगर आप मोदी जी को वोट नहीं देंगे, won't work. We will vote on the promises. We will vote on the socialistic idea of India. And we saw Karnataka. And let me tell you, Danish, very frankly, we are going into elections, 5 state elections this year, and we are very confident. Because everywhere we go, people talk about Bharat Jodo Yatra. Its effect, its phenomenon hasn't died down, and it's still continuing. He's meeting individual people.
Pooja, I would like
Okay.
yeah. I would like to draw parallels between the Bharat Jodo Yatra and Advani's LK Advani's Rath Yatra, or I can also draw parallels Bharat Jodo Yatra with the BJP's Path Yatras. We have almost everywhere we have seen whenever there is a yatra by the BJP people, the rites follow. And when the Bharat Jodo Yatra crossed from Kashmir to Kanyakumari or Kanyakumari to Kashmir, not a single stone pelting incident was reported. So, what basically is the difference between the two?
I think Rahul Gandhi, when he calls himself a tapasvi, people near him, people following him, and people listening to him will actually believe he's a tapasvi. He actually believes in love and compassion. When he goes to Manipur, he does not talk about the politics there. He does not blames the government. He talks about peace and reconciliation. Just look at the other way around. Just look at the other axis. They are sitting on a blame game. They have a government, but they'll blame game. Congress ne kiya, Nehru ne kiya, everything. So that's the difference between Congress ideology and that's the difference between Bhajpa ideology. We never ever talk about having clashes between communities. This pitching in community against other was never an idea of India that we believed in, and that was the sole purpose of Bharat Jodo Yatra to bring in communal harmony. Till we all are Indians first.
And the objective was achieved by Bharat Jodo Yatra. What actually it started with?
I think the objective was far more achieved for Bharat Jodo Yatra. It was not. It was never about the way it is said. It was rebranding of Rahul Gandhi. Nothing. It was about bringing in a message of peace, harmony, and talking about people's. Let's bring people's issue to the core of politics. If a Ram Mandir is being created, how it's impacting you and us? Okay, a Ram Mandir is being created. If something is brought in the country, what is happening to inflation? What is happening to the employment to the youth? What is happening to national security when an aggressive China happens? These are the issues. When we go and when we fill a petrol of 100 plus rupees, that's something that is pitching our pockets. When a woman can't run her kitchen at 1200 rupees LPG cylinder, that's something we wanted people's issue to be brought to the core of politics, and Karnataka elections exactly did that. People voted on people's issue. They didn't vote on face. They asked for votes in the name of Narendra Modi. It didn't work. People said we will vote on development promises. We will vote on inflation, unemployment, and that worked.
Pooja, there are reports about the Bharat Jodo Yatra Part 2. Is it on cards?
Yeah. Definitely it's on cards, because as Rahul Gandhi has said it, it's definitely on cards, and he always wanted to do it. It's not just something that just came up. He's been wanting to do it since 2-3 years, as he has put it. So when we traveled, why we took this linear route, I'll be very honest with you. When we sat on the table and when we started discussing how we will take it, we wanted a linear route which should not be disturbed by any water body, any forest stretch of land. That is something that could be traveled on foot, because Rahul Gandhi was clear on one thing from the start: he will complete the whole journey on foot. And that's why, the whole logistics, the whole pathway of Porbandar to Arunachal is being chalked out, because it would be covered on foot. And that's why it's taking time. But Bharat Jodo Yatra 2.0 is definitely happening, because we covered south to north and now we'll cover west to east.
But it's not going to happen in October.
I don't think so, Danish. I'll be very honest. I'm not very, perfect person to tell it, because Bharat Jodo Yatra coordination committee headed by Digvijay ji and Jairam ji would be in a better position to explain it. But October 2 is just around the corner. Rahul Gandhi is returning from late September from Europe. I don't see, 1 month is too less a time for a party to prepare something of this scale, because now Bharat Jodo Yatra has become huge. It's you will started with 100 containers, and we reached up to 241. And now imagine if we open up the applications for Bharat Jodo Yatra participation, the amount of people who would be applying. So this would require a lot of planning and execution.
But it will happen before the Lok Sabha elections take place.
Hopefully it will happen before the Lok Sabha. We plan to take it before the Lok Sabha elections.
Pooja, my last question of this segment before we move on to the other topics. Has the Bharat Jodo Yatra shattered the image of Poppu, the tag Poppu that was with Rahul Gandhi?
Definitely it has. We all know, we all live in the politics. Who are on the right side of politics, we all know that it was a PR, it was a propaganda created by the BJP machinery to defame him. And if we imagine, look at 2014, the way Rahul Gandhi was blamed. If somebody of a normal metal would have collapsed right now, the amount of abuses hurled at him. But he continued. Who speaks against Adani in the parliament? It's Rahul Gandhi, in spite of facing, disqualification from parliament. Who speaks of every political issue? It's Mr. Rahul Gandhi. Who wants government of Corona crisis? It's Mr. Gandhi. Who goes and, goes to farmers and they said, we हमें दिल्ली देखना है, हमें भी आपका घर दिखा दीजिए. He invites them to his home. I'm a Congress supporter, you're a journalist, but if I see neutral people talking about, you say, अब बंदा बहुत अच्छा है, इसके साथ गलत हुआ. This is the kind of sentiment that echoes in general public. And Bharat Jodo Yatra, the images of Bharat Jodo Yatra, they were powerful, they were emotional, and this definitely helped shatter this whole thing.
In other words, can I put it like this, that Rahul Gandhi was never a puppet?
Never, ever. Rahul Gandhi is the most learned man, most articulate, most intelligent, compassionate, and person. I speak as a woman. He's the most feminist man I've ever seen in politics.
And how do you react to remarks like Smriti Irani accused him of?
I think Smriti Irani has been reduced to being a troll minister of Mr. Gandhi. She doesn't speak on women emancipation. She doesn't speak on violence against women. She doesn't speak on gang rape.
Rahul Gandhi.
She is obsessed with Rahul Gandhi. Look at the flying kiss scenario. You know what she said? She said he actually directed flying kiss towards women. Look at, if we see the parliament as a clock, the speaker was sitting at 12 and Rahul Gandhi was standing at 1. He was just facing speaker. He said, okay, I'll go. He has a habit of giving flying kisses because he doesn't consider it to be made into a issue like this. And he just went away. And Miss Irani was standing at 7 o'clock. And how can, somebody who gives flying kiss like this would reach there? I have no clue. This Miss Irani won't speak a word on Gautam Gambhir actually making a vulgar gesture at the crowd when the crowd was chanting Kohli, Kohli. They won't speak a word. Forget vulgar gesture. They won't speak on Ankita Bhandari. They won't speak on Hathras. But say Rahul Gandhi and Smriti Irani comes out of her shock shell. I think she's the most incompetent, the most, the worst minister in the Modi's cabinet.
Pooja, let's move on.
She goes to Amethi. I'll just put in one word. She goes to Amethi and she asked the shopkeepers, "Yahan Gandhi family se koi aaya tha kya?" Can you imagine this? Is this the amount of obsession that you're carrying? You ask a normal shopkeeper, "Yahan Gandhi family se koi aaya tha kya?" You are a sitting MP. You shouldn't be asking this question. This is below your dignity. But no, she's obsessed with Rahul Gandhi.
Let's move on to the other segment. Pooja, explain to the viewers what the concept of one nation, one election is all about.
One nation, one election is just a diversionary tactic by the present government to deviate us from the topics of Modani scam, the inflation, unemployment. Do you think one nation, one election is feasible as it's being reported with the 5 Vidhan Sabhas and the Lok Sabha? It would involve constitutional amendment in 5 articles. And it's a blow, it's a death knell to the federal structure of the country, the states of the country. When we talk about India as a union of states, the states of a country don't even have they are not just cultural entity. They have their political voices too. I'm sitting in Chhattisgarh right now for the elections. You are sitting in J&K. We both have completely different issues at hand. While Chhattisgarh is a primarily an agricultural economy, J&K have its own issues post abrogation of Article 370. Can one nation, one election, and with a party like BJP, which goes into Karnataka election and asks votes in the name of Modi ji, goes into Himachal and asks names in the name of Modi ji. It's a death knell in the quasi-federal structure that we are in, with a obvious bias towards central. One nation, one election is not only constitutionally unviable, it's impracticable. And the whole, the notion that has been floating around that, it will save exchequer a lot of money. In a democracy, we are the mother of democracy. Where will we spend our money? We spend on elections. Because regular elections keep a check on the government. They give a voice to the people. This country, this constitution provides the biggest power in the hands of a normal citizen like you and me is the power of our vote. With just when you're painting the whole country into one brush of stroke, this will be not only detrimental to the federal values of the country, it will be detrimental to the democratic values too.
We have to change 5 articles of the Constitution to implement this concept.
Yes.
And
5 articles of constitution, and we are looking at 10,000 crore of expenditure for an election commission. Just for VVAPAT, this is 6,570 crores. And for booths, the election booths that would be doubled up, this will total around 3,240 crores. This is amounting to 9,800 crores.
And it's about the panchayat elections too, holding them simultaneously with the...
What are you doing with? And also, this is a participatory democracy. Have they consulted this different parties? No, they have formed a committee in which they have kept the leader of opposition and Rajya Sabha out of this. Such an important bill, and they have kept the leader of opposition and Rajya Sabha out. We have seen Harish Salve sharing bread and wine with a fugitive of a country. Is Harish Salve being removed from the committee of One Nation, One Election? No, the government absolutely holds no accountability. I think, government has become accustomed in headline management. They'll just throw a shigufa at you. One nation, one election, India versus Bharat, so that we don't talk about the issues at hand that's facing the 1,000 crores Modani scam that's right in front of our eyes. What's happening with this? What is happening with Manipur, where violence hasn't even stopped after some 120 days? No, government will not talk about that. They'll do headline management. Now, everybody's talking India hona chahiye, Bharat hona chahiye, one nation, one election.
They have called for the special parliament session on September 19th, which was not in consultation with the main opposition party, Congress. How do you see these developments?
I think the Parliamentary Affairs Minister said that, Sonia Gandhi shouldn't politicize this because never ever when special session is called, a leader of opposition is being consulted. But whenever a special session is being called, the agenda is sent to the Business Advisory Committee. This was not followed. So I think this whole thing of not following the protocol is just a bogus thing. Look at the notification they brought out. No 0R, no question R. And this is where this shows the intent of the government. What are you trying to do? You should rather bring in an ordinance and say whatever you want to. You have been a government of ordinances.
But this is not actually how the so-called mother of democracy works. Is it a democracy then?
No, I'll not say we have ceased to be a democracy, but the democracy has been diluted upfront by this government. Now we see 96% of bills not sent to parliamentary committees. We saw
And
Delhi Services bill with voice vote only, no public. You remember the pre-2014, the bills were sent to parliamentary committee. Then they were open for public consultation. Public had 45 days to comment on it. Nothing sort of that is happening. Something that amounts to thousands of crores is just passed by a voice vote in 16 seconds. I think we should pretend stop being democracy because every opposition voice is being stifled. They are asking for JPC. The whole budget session washes out. We are asking for discussion on Manipur. The whole monsoon session washes out. They had to bring in no confidence without even knowing that they were less in numbers. Just because Prime Minister comes and speaks on something of national importance, I think the way they are governing the country is like a la-la land. I don't know what they are thinking.
Pooja, just to my curiosity, I want to ask you something. Do you think that they will hold the Lok Sabha elections 2024 on time?
On time?
Yeah. Will they hold it at all?
With the state elections, you are saying?
I'm talking of the general elections, 24.
I think they will hold it on time because that's what democracy is all about, democratic check. But as you know, some political reporter or political analyst pointed out in last debate I was attending, he said they will never hold it before time because right is the last day Modi ji would be inaugurating some train or the other. So forget about holding it beforehand. But I think, let's see, I still have belief in democracy.
There is still January 2024, where the reports say that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to inaugurate the Ayodhya temple. How is that going to impact the election?
they will inaugurate an Ayodhya temple, and they have purposefully kept it for the election year. Because Ayodhya temple is something that instigates the emotions of masses. वो जो एक व्हाट्सएप फॉरवर्ड फैलता है कि शेर पालना महंगा होता है, हम 100 रुपए का पेट्रोल भरवाएंगे पर जय श्री राम बोलेंगे. The way they have metamorphosed Jai Shri Ram slogan from Jai Siya Ram, from something that was, that was close to our heart, that was the topic of our astha and bhakti, to something that is an aggression, violence, and a medium to attack a community is very sad. And that's why they have failed on every aspect of governance. You ask me, I'll give you stats. So they will keep the Ayodhya. They might just inaugurate it just before days of election, because as we projected it the way they did in 2019 election. So Ayodhya temple is going to be inaugurated in January or Feb or March 24, because they've kept it for election years, and that's obvious.
Pooja, my last question before we end up this
Yeah.
intriguing interview. Pooja, how does it feel to be in Bharat? And explain to me how today's Bharat is different than yesterday's India.
Danish, I have a problem with this phrasing of a question, because for me, India and Bharat are synonymous with each other. India is something, a brand that we have created from the last 75 years. Today, we are on the axis of global south, and that has been the work of our forefathers, our freedom strugglers, our constitution makers, and everyone who has come after that. And now, when we say Bharat, it denotes to 5,000 years to India. We have created India. And be it Bharat, be it India, is the pride of our nation. So it's definitely a very sad state to be divided into lines of India versus Bharat. We should have been talking about the rich-poor divide. That would have been a better way to...
But BJP is alleging that the name India was given by the British, which was continued by the Congress. And Congress has no problem with India, with the name India.
I think BJP should first stop giving patriotism certificate to themselves and calling every other one anti-nationals. Because, what I'm saying is that these were the people, the BJP's forefathers, RSS, they were the people who sided with Britishers during freedom struggle and during the INA mutiny. And now they are the ones who actually sided with Jinnah for the two-nation theory. And now they are giving this freedom patriotic certificate to people. You're saying that Bharat hai, hamari Sanskriti hai. I think people should see through their what do you say? See through their shallowness, see through their lies, and we should stop dividing ourselves into India versus Bharat, because it's just a means to divert attention from their apathy in governance. I think
So
that's what
there is no
BJP
difference
is.
between Bharat and India, which they are trying to create now.
See, they have created a difference between Bharat and India when we say that a person lives on 127 rupees a day while Adani ji becomes the second richest to first richest person. There is a difference between Bharat and India. When BJP supports their crony capitalist friends at the expense of common people and slash down the funds of Narega, there is a difference between Bharat and India. But the problem is, call it Bharat or call it India, what are they doing about unemployment? What are they doing about inflation? What are they doing about a state that's been burning for the last 120 days? What are they doing for restoring the rights of Jammu and Kashmir? Nothing. They will just put in something for public engagement. Public will be engaged. Nahi, aap anti-national ho, ye ho, falana tikana. I think we should overcome this. We should come over this, and we should stop dividing ourselves. It's India, it's Bharat, it's our identity and our pehchan, I'll say, our pride.
Pooja, my last question. You are hopeful
Yes.
of winning all the 4 state elections that are going to happen before 2024 general elections.
Definitely. Chhattisgarh, I'll tell you particularly each one of it. Chhattisgarh will win on the governance that has been delivered by Bhupesh Baghel. Bhupesh Baghel has been exceptional with governance. The stats say the schemes that is brought in, it's just everywhere public supports him. Talk about Rajasthan. Rajasthan is giving cylinders at 500. Rajasthan is the first state to bring in a gig workers bill, first state to bring in the health bill. And so Rajasthan will again win on governance. Telangana, the people are just, they're harassed by the present governance. Telangana, whole of our organization is working. And Madhya Pradesh is reeling under 50% commission. Karnataka was 40%. Madhya Pradesh is 50%. They can go and file an FIR against me also. But Madhya Pradesh is seeing rampant corruption across all its years. and that's why we are going to win.
What about
all the
Rajasthan?
by-elections. Rajasthan, I said Rajasthan, Ashok Gehlot has seen transformative changes. You know, he brought the national health bill, he brought the gig workers insurance bill, he is giving cylinders, he's having a Mehengai Rahat camps. I think the Gehlot government has done exceptional work. And where we are still in government, we will win on the governance promises that we have delivered. And where we are not, we'll win on the guarantees and promises that we're going to give it to people.
Pooja, thank you very much for talking to me. An excellent interview. Thank you.
Please subscribe to our channel Reportage and press the bell icon to remain updated.